Hey, Michelle with Treecat here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you're catching this. Hope you're doing well today. Happy October, kind of like in the middle of it, right? We're right in the middle of it. And I hope sales are going well for you. And what I wanted to do today is just take an opportunity just to do a full cross-listing demo, give you an idea of how I do cross-listing. There are a couple different ways that you can do it. Of course, if you're new here and you don't even know what Treecat is, it's a cross-listing automation inventory management tool. It's the only one that allows you to pay only when you sell. So there's no monthly plan, there's no subscription, there's no stacking, there's no limits, there's no buying tokens, there's no add-ons. So when you sell something on one of your platforms, we sales detect it and we take it down from the other platforms. And that's really the core functionality that you want, right? Because you can cross list, of course, anyone can cross list, but it's really the management of it. And it's really being able to detect the sales and auto delist it once it sells for you so that you don't double sell. That's really the core functionality and value that we like to provide for you. So we also offer a bunch of other things at no cost to you, because one feature unlocks all of the features. But today we're going to focus on just the cross listing, right? Just a basic, new tutorial. For some of you that are more, new to Treecat, I wanted to just show you like how I do it, right? And just remind you that there is a value to keeping your inventory in sync across all of your marketplaces. Right now we support 4 marketplaces. So eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, and whatnot. And we have quite a few coming in the next few months, quite a few more. So the first thing that you want to do before you start cross-listing is you want to make sure that you have your local agent installed either on your PC or your Mac. The second thing you want to do is make sure that you're connected to all of your stores. And we do have a Chrome extension that it's a very lightweight Chrome extension that you can install that will manage all of your logins for you, so that we don't have to store your passwords for you. It's done by Google authentication. The third thing that you want to do is so your local agent is installed. You're connected to all your stores. And the third thing you have to make sure that you do is make sure that your computer is on at all times and not in sleep mode. And that way you will get the full functionality of the sales detection and auto delisting. So one of the cool things about Treecat is you have the ability to use a filtering system. And so today I'm going to use a filtering system to show you how I select the items that I'm going to cross list. Let me take just a step back a minute and talk a little bit more about filtering, because I think this is going to be one of the main ways that you might find your items. So to get to the filtering system, you're going to go to this little thing right here, which is a picture of like an icon of a filter, and you're going to click onto that, and then that will allow you to filter in several different types of ways, right? So you can filter, let's say you're coming in, you are an eBay seller first, that's what you started on, and now you're ready to cross list to other platforms, other marketplaces. So you would filter by, I want to look at all my items that I have listed on eBay, but not on Poshmark or Mercari. That's how you would do that filtering. And then of course you do have to apply the filter. So as you can see here, there's a button that says apply filters. Let's say you are a person that started on Mercari. So you want to look at you start your listings on Mercari, and you want to look at items that are listed on Mercari, but not eBay, Poshmark, or whatnot. And you would apply that filter, that set of filters. Or let's say you're a Poshmark seller and that's your primary thing where you have most of your items listed, and they've gotten pulled into eBay, or they've gotten pulled into Treecat. And then you want to find the items that are not listed on eBay and Mercari, and then you want to apply those filters. So you can also, there's just, a lot of, you can look at quantity, right? So let's say you have multiple quantity, and you want to look at items that are bigger than 2. Let's say you want to look at items that you can apply filters and find items where you have multiple quantity. So there's lots of different ways to filter and find and search through your items. And these are just a couple of them, a couple of different ways. So listed on, not listed on, You can even look on things that are archived, that have been archived. So anytime something sells, it gets an archive label. This is actually something you can do in your settings. So you go to your settings and you go to profile. Okay, so settings, profile. And you are going to have the opportunity to create a new custom label. So let's say you want your label to have everything that you listed on 10/17/2025. And I'm going to enter. So you press enter. So you go to your settings, you go to your profile, and then you type in, and I'm going to save those changes. Okay. So you type in the label, you press enter, you save the change, go back to your inventory. And then what you can do is you can select in bulk what you'd like to change or what you'd like to add. So you select these items. I'm selecting these items, and then I'm saying add these 5 labels to black bra. Okay, so these 5 labels will now have the black bra label. Okay. And I can select in bulk. I can select however many items I want to select, and then go to main actions and say add labels to these 6 items. Okay, and then I can see that my newer labels are here. So I'm going to check, I'm going to make this one 10, have the label 10/17, and I'm going to confirm the selection. And now all of these items have that label 10/17. So you can do multiple ways of searching. You can specify items with certain labels. You can also specify where they're listed and where they're not listed. So you can do it all in one shot and then apply it. In the last couple of days, I've done some listings. And so I could search, the date that I listed them. So you go into the search bar, you're in your inventory tab, and you go into the search bar and you can type in, like I could type in 10/17/2025. And I could just do a search of the items that I listed on 10/17, right? Or so you can basically everything is searchable that's within the product name, the description, and also the custom SKU, right? Which is at the very bottom. And the custom SKU is put in within, you can put it in within eBay. And then that gets pulled over. So if you are a person that likes to cross list, starting from list starting from eBay, and you put in that custom SKU, that will get pulled over and become searchable within Treecat. So your product name, your product description, your custom SKU, your label. And then there's also a Treecat notes area. This is on the left-hand side. So under all of your pictures, if you go here and you see this thing that says Treecat notes, let me make that a little bit bigger. You have the option to create your own, tag, essentially. So your own internal tag. So that then becomes a searchable term. And so now that I've given you all this information on how to do filtering, how to create labels or tags, and you can see all the things that you're able to filter and how powerful the filtering system is. And you're going to need this if you have a large store, if you have a lot of items. This comes in really handy. But now let's get to what we came here for, which is the cross-listing demo. So here we go. Here's my cross-listing demo. Black Bra 1 is going to show me all of the items that I just listed that are black. And the reason I did that is because I want to show you 2 different ways to cross-list. One is through the card view. So what we're looking at now is the card view. And we also have a different view, which is called the fast list view. And it's over here on the right-hand side. You can choose the fast list view. And if I choose the fast list view, it's helpful to have one of these tags so that I can have but you can use any search criteria that you want. But what I did was I just went ahead and decided I could even do, I have another tag that I put in, light bra 1. And these are all of the light colored bras that I just recently cross-listed. Okay. So there's a total of 7 light colored bras that I recently did. So maybe those are the ones that I will show you how to do in bulk. because you can do these in bulk 2 different ways, or you can do them one by one. So in the card list view, you see that I've filtered by my tag. But like I said, there's lots of ways to filter, right? Keyword from your title, your description, your SKU, or you can do your own tag. You can make your own label. So I select all these items, and I'm going to tell it under main actions that I want to autofill these items from eBay to Mercari and Poshmark. So I'm autofilling those, and it's initiating the action, and it takes a little bit of time. And this is just personally my favorite way of cross listing. So I then pull these each into their own tab. Now, a lot of people don't really like to do it this way. They find it's not as fast or whatever, but it's how I like to do it. So what you can do is you can then go and you can check to make sure everything's right with the autofill, which it is. And I do put in, sometimes I have to put in the original price on these things. And you can put in style tags if you want. But anyways, it autofilled to Mercari and Poshmark. So what I'm going to do is tell it, let me move this over, to list it. Okay, I'm going to list it. Boom. And so that's happening in one tab. Now, while it's happening, at the pace of a human, especially with Mercari and Poshmark, right? We want to be good stewards of those marketplaces and do things in a systematic way, in a thoughtful way. And, so those are going to happen at the pace of the human. Now, with this next one, I go and I check to see if it autofilled. And yes, it did autofill this one as well. And I just kind of go through it and make sure that everything is accurate. And I know that with Poshmark, for example, I do have to put in, well, you don't have to, but I like to put in the original price. And so I'm not going to do style tags, but it looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and list it on these 2 platforms. And then I go to another, because you can have multiple things happening, things that are happening at one time. This is listing, this is listing. And then this one, we're going to see if this is correct. Yes. To make sure that I like everything that it put in here, and I do. So we are going to go ahead and list that onto Mercari and Poshmark. So like I said, you've got these items, and then the reason I like to do it this way is because these will then turn green, and then I'll see visually, okay, they're done. Of course, I could always go back to Black Bra 1 and do a refresh and see where things are at. That's another way, but I guess I'm just kind of old school in how I do things. So that's kind of how, let's see here. We're just going to go through. I know this is boring for you guys to have to sit there and watch me cross list, but I wanted to do an in-depth, show you just exactly how I do it, and in real time. Because sometimes when I edit the videos, I don't want it to be boring, so I'll speed things up a little bit. But anyways, you can just see if you want to see it in real time, how it's done. And then I go to list, and boom, those are getting listed. So, yeah, this is basically how I do it. It's just as simple as I like to put it in, I like to put it into different tabs, because this is kind of how I'm used to doing things. But you don't have to do it this way. If you want to do things in a different way, in more of a bulk way, I'll show you how to do that in a second here. But I want to finish my cross listing. You do have to check them. So I do want to tell you that, you want to check the AI, because sometimes it can make mistakes. It works pretty well for me. But there are some categories that we still need to work on. And so if you are listing in one of those categories and you're like, hey, it's not really doing well in my category, just reach out to us and we can tune that category for you. So yeah, so let's list this one, but it's certainly gotten good with the stuff that I list. So let's see, are we happy with this? Yes, we are. Are we happy with this? We're going to put in the original price, and oh, it even shows that it has gold, black and gold. That's cool. All right, so we are going to list that one as well. All right, so those are getting listed. And now while those are getting listed, and we can always, update it and see where the status is. Like this has already been listed on Mercari. So we know that it's doing its job. So while that's all happening, I'm going to go to fast list, right? And I've pulled up all of my light colored bras. And they're all selected. And did I autofill them? Yes. No, I did not autofill them. So I've selected them all, and I go to main actions. And this is great if you have like a lot that you want to do at one time. And I've tested this out with 100 at a time. And, it did it like within 5 minutes, under 5 minutes, 100 at a time. So it doesn't seem to slow down the more quantity that you are working with, which is interesting. So we are going to autofill 7 items to Mercari and Poshmark. Let's go ahead and click the autofill there. And then, that's going to take probably 5 seconds per item. And so we will wait a second here, and we can see, I can go ahead and start. So it's all, you just basically scroll down to do your checking. So I look and I make sure that, so it doesn't have the condition here. So we are going to put in the condition and save those changes. And on Poshmark, we're going to put in the original price, save those changes. And it doesn't, the color, it didn't get the color right. So let's put in tan and cream. And and save that. All right, so you just go through it and you just check to see that it's got everything that you want. So this is the second item, which is this Liliette bra here. So this might be a little bit faster, way of doing it. And the condition is new. We like that. It's got all the shipping, and it has all the shipping because I did do all of my shipping policies on eBay. So those get, put in and distributed, and it did get the color right on that. So that's great. We're skipping whatnot, and we're going to the third one, and that's the eBay. This is the Mercari standard new. This is an Alden bra. It is new with tags, and we like what Mercari says. We like so far what the Poshmark is giving us, and it did get the color right on that, so that's great. And I think the color issue mostly comes from the fact that I put in the manufacturer's color, which is Cafe Mocha, and it doesn't quite like that. Let's see. I think it did not get the condition right. So we're going to put in the like new condition. We're going to save that. We're going to put in the original price and save that. And again, we got to put in tan and cream. All right. So so when it sees Cafe Mocha, it is interpreting that as brown. Now, if I were to put in nude for the color and not put in the actual, or put in, beige or something, it probably would see that differently, but it interprets Cafe Mocha as brown for some reason. So let's see here. This is this is a beige one, and it looks good. It got the condition. We like everything there. We're going to put in the Poshmark original price. And what's the color? The color here is beige, so it did not get the color right. So I'm going to change the color to, let's do cream. Oops. Cream. Okay. And we're going to save that. And we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going because we have a couple more left. All right. And we're going to scroll down, and we're going to make sure that it got everything right for that, and put in whatever information we need to put in, like the original price. Tan, it got the color right, so that's cool. And here it looks like this might be the last one. So this one looks like everything's good there. We're going to put in the original price here, and it got cream right, so that's good. So we are going to now go to main action. Since I've been saving it as we go, I don't have to do any saving at this point. That's the one nice thing about saving it as you go. Now I'm going to list those 7 items onto Mercari and Poshmark and confirm. Okay, and now I know that the action is initiated. And since I did it in bulk, what I can do is I'm going to open up, I'm going to duplicate this tab, and I'm going to put in my tag, which was light bra 1. And so now I have a visualization of where it's at. And I can also kind of look at the events and see that, oh, they're pending, you know. And so that's how it works. I can go back now to my tabs, my original tabs, and see that these have been listed. So that's done. And how about this one? That's been listed. So done, done. This one's still listing on Poshmark. This one's, and if you refresh it, if you do reload, it'll show you that the action's pending, and you can go into the events and I can see that it's pending, and then it'll give me a success once it's done. So that's the 2 ways that you can cross list. And like I said, we have intelligent queuing. So these things will sequentially be done at their own time. And I kind of like opening up tabs because it just makes it a little bit easy for me visually. That one's done, so I'm going to X out of that. And, you know, I can come back. I can go do something else and come back and see that it's been done. Or I can go into this view and refresh. So there's 2 ways to kind of check your progress. You can either open them up in tabs, or you can go back to the card view. I like the card view because then you get a view of all of your items. Now, if you had like hundreds, you'd still be able to, or 100, I guess. I've only tested it with 100. If you had 100, then you'd be able to use the card view and check and see where you're at status wise. And each one of these cards, you can actually, you know, like I say, go into them, and you can check them to see where they are individually pending, or in the overall view, this you know, card view with all of them selected, you can also look at events there, and it will show you like all of the individual items. So that's how we do it here. 2 different views: card view, if you want kind of a easy visual way of looking at things, and the fast list view, which is this one. And that one will allow you to kind of scroll through all your listings, and you can sort of see what's pending, what's not. I like this view when I'm working with larger quantities of things that I want to cross list. If I only have like say 5 or 6, then I might do the tab view, like where I open them up in tabs. But you know, it gives you some options, right? If you prefer this view, you can do this view. If you like the card view, you can do the card view, or you can do a mix of both. So we just give you different options. So that's the tutorial, guys. And hopefully that will help you understand the different ways that you can cross list with Treecat, and the flexibility that you have, and the fact that you can use all kinds of different filters to find the items that you want, and toggle between the different, you know, cross listing views, the fast list view or the card view. And really, you know, if you have any questions, reach out to us. But this is our new, you know, cross listing tutorial. I'll probably clip this up and put this on as a tutorial for you. And hopefully it'll be helpful. So with that being said, guys, I'll keep this short and sweet, and wishing you a great weekend. Hope you have a good one. Hope your sales are doing well. And we'll see you next time on Treecat Chat. Mahalo.